On today's show, we're going to talk about seniority versus performance and education versus experience. Does it make a difference? Stay tuned. Welcome to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your host, the coach, along with SJ and Rifa. And on today's segment, we're going to talk about does seniority versus performance or education versus experience? Which one is better than the other to have on the job? So, with that being said, SJ, you got it. Take it.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, so I find this to be a very interesting debate in the workplace. It's pretty divisive because you have younger employees coming in. You know, they may have more education, they may have less experience, and then they come into the workplace and there are older folks there who may have more experience, may or may not have less education. And, you know, everybody wants to be promoted, right? Everybody wants the next opportunity. Everybody wants to make more money. So what is the path to get that promotion, or what is the path to get more opportunity? So these are the terms that we hear. These are the things that we've been told for the longest time are going to get us to that next level in our career. So I've been doing a little looking around to see what I could find out. And what I found, well, first, I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about it, because this is a very subjective subject. You know, really, it depends on who you ask, and then I'll tell you what I've found out. So, what do you think? Which one is more important if you have to choose? Is it
Go ahead, Rifa.
experience, or is it education?
Between both, I think you need both. But if I have to choose, I think experience is what's gonna. Because a lot of people, with education, you could learn the stuff if you're willing to do that much.
Okay, how about you, Coach?
I would say depending on the job.
Okay,
Depending on the job. It could go either way.
okay, and how about seniority versus performance? Which one is more important?
I'll say performance.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with performance also.
I mean,
Okay.
because you might have somebody been there for 20 years, but 20 years be doing the wrong way. But just because they're
True.
there and they're already, some people get vested into the company and they're not gonna get fired, but doesn't necessarily mean they still need to be doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah. They may be there for 20 years, but they may not be adding much. But
Mhm.
you know, times have changed because especially down here in the South where we don't have unions, you will get
Boy,
fired.
the boy, girl.
No, go ahead. I'm just making fun of you said the South.
Well, it's true, you know, and that's the reason that we don't have laborers is there's a reason for that. That's not by accident. They don't want us to have
Regulated,
u-
yeah.
right. They don't want us to have unions. They don't want us to protect our rights. They don't want us to know our rights. They don't
Right.
want us to make demands. So I've been looking into it a little bit and doing a little bit of reading, and really
Hmm.
it comes down to company culture. And that's just a phrase that's thrown around that basically means what is the set of beliefs that at your workplace? What is the general consensus of, you know, how everybody should behave, what the goals are, what's the attitude. A lot of companies now are putting forth these mission statements and these pillars. They have a lot of words that they use to try to engage employees and get them wrapped up in what it is that they want their company to exude. But my personal experience has been that this is all public relations. This is all for appearances. Because when it
Bingo.
comes down to it,
Hmm. Keep
these
going.
things are not practiced. They are not even really encouraged. I'm not going to say enforced
Right.
because, again, this is supposed to be a culture, so it shouldn't be enforced. But I think that it's something that definitely needs to be considered because I do believe that there is some value in seniority. In opposition to the current workforce, it seems to me like people are more rewarded for kind of being like sharks. Don't stay in one spot too long. That means that you're content, you're complacent, you're not competitive, you don't have that ferocious edge that makes you ambitious. So you got to keep it moving. Whereas when I was raised, you were supposed to be loyal. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I am not giving any company any loyalty because I have never experienced a company that has any loyalty towards me.
I mean, it's
Great
not
That's
just,
just my own personal belief.
I think it just won't be you, it's everybody, because again, companies, it's all about the bottom line. And if you ain't working out, they'll get somebody else. So I
Well,
don't blame.
sometimes it's more of a matter. It doesn't even have to be that you're not working out. It could simply be that somebody has come in and they don't like you, or somebody has come in and they have somebody that they like more. They have somebody that they want to help out and give a hand up to. There are so many reasons. So be loyal to yourself. All of this being loyal to your company. I mean, if you really want to try it, go for it and see how that works out for you. But I do place some value in seniority because hopefully, I'm being optimistic here, but
Mhm.
hopefully, a person who has been with the company for a long time has acquired a certain level of knowledge, skill set, etc., that other people can benefit from. Hopefully, this person knows how to be successful within this environment and contributes. Now, I understand that that's not always the case.
Mhm.
And if that person is not contributing in any situation, I'm also a firm believer of if you're not doing your job or you can't do your job, then you shouldn't have that job.
Good point. And I would like to say on that, okay, going back to the education and experience. And again, I think it's dependent on your job. If let's say there's a regular physician, a regular doctor or whatever, I think their education could get them through if they're diagnosing you with something, over the counter or a prescription with something minor illnesses, minor ailments. But if you have to have a procedure where you're going to have an operation, then I'm going to go with the experienced person. I'm going to be looking at that surgeon. Hey, how many procedures have you performed in your career? And out of all your procedures that you performed, how many, did you mess up? Or do you have a perfect winning record? If you perform this procedure 100 times versus a new surgeon who hasn't performed one, you're going to be his first or her first guinea pig. Then yeah, I'm going to go with the experience. Same thing with law. I would say like a lawyer. Education may be great because I know to attain some of those positions, like a judge and stuff, you need the education. But if it's going to be a case where, hey, maybe I'm being accused of something very, very, very serious, I need that lawyer who has that experience and has represented clients that were similar like me and they've won the cases. I will feel more confident versus if I just got a lawyer with education that's just representing me in a civil claim, something like that. Somebody stole $500 from me or something in that nature. I may just can use that lawyer and that lawyer can tell me what all that I need to do to prep for my case or do the little footwork and things like that. So that's why I say, same way in the sports world, would you rather have a person who they may have played basketball or football or something at the college level, or would you rather have a person that trains you who has played all the way in the NFL level and they are a all-star player at the NFL level. They were all pro and things like that. So like I said, it just depends in the situation. The seniority versus performance, the reason why I picked performance, because I think it was you or Rifa has stated that it's the major thing. I seen it all when I was a safety specialist. You may have somebody that is been with the company 20, 30, 40 years, but hell, what they were doing, when you see what they were doing and how they were doing it and how they were working, the shit was wrong. And you also look at, are they acceptable to change?
Change.
And especially if that change is going to improve the operation, the work process, and things in that nature. We can get off earlier at work, or we could take a longer lunch break because, we have this new computer or this new program or system now that we're going to do things. Usually, a lot of people that have seniority, when change is coming, they bitch about it.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no, this ain't going to work.
They'll be the main ones on the front line with that pitchfork talking about,
Burn it down. We don't need it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they don't got used to doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, that's
Exactly.
so, and sometimes it's hard for them to, okay, well,
Adjust and change.
and
Yeah.
try something different because my work couldn't. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm leaning that direction.
Yeah. So that's why I lean both of those directions.
Now,
So
let me give you all something else to think about.
Sure.
Have you ever seen somebody who is a high achieving employee? Their performance looks great initially, but upon further inspection, you see that they might be cutting corners. They
Mhm.
might be doing, sloppy, messy business deals. Because I've been seeing a lot of this lately, and a lot of the people just that I've come across. Which is why this makes for such an interesting conversation.
Yes.
I've seen them say, that it's all about the performance. It doesn't matter how long you've been somewhere. It depends on what you can do with your numbers. Yet, when these people are so focused on numbers and delivering these numbers, whatever it is that they're delivering, let's just use sales for an example. But then you look at the deals that they've put together and the clients are angry, which means that they're not going to come back and be repeat customers. And generally speaking, when you get a client, with the example that I'm using, you want to have them long term. You want their repeat business for them to stay with you and continue to buy with you. But now you have somebody who has instead burned a bridge.
Mhm.
And depending on your community and your environment, that may not be so good because you may have limited opportunities. I'm thinking of some specific examples here. Or let's talk about in terms of quality. Somebody may be able to put out a ton of work at a very fast speed, but if the quality of that work is not up to par, then that person is receiving accolades for producing all of this work, but it's not right, it's sloppy, and it's causing problems somewhere else down the line. But before this person can even be called to task, they've already moved on to the next job because they're a shark.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you
Well,
brought that up.
go ahead, Riffa. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up because again, it's you look at cars, the way cars are built back in the days and the way cars are built now. But I believe back then, it's the same thing we're talking about. They build a lot better, from my understanding. But as far as safety, those things, like if you get in a wreck in an older vehicle, you most likely you survive. But the newer vehicle, the way they just mass producing and technology and stuff like that, you get in a car wreck now, you don't lost your arm, lost your head. I mean, because the component are just, again, is everything's going to a assembly line to where you're not getting the quality, but that's what is driving the society right now, and that's what everybody wants. Even though it's not for the long term, but company are taking the chances with just get the money now, then let's worry about whatever happened later on. That's where I feel that the companies are doing these days. That's how they hire people, to where get that shark little employee in here, boom, 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 boom. Again, he's by the time he's moved on to be a CEO of the company, and the same attitude he had, or he or she had, when they was actually working on the sales floor, on the workforce. That same level that they're gonna be pushing when they move to that position.
Great point.
Exactly.
And yeah, and again, that's why I go back to seniority. I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but see, just like we stated earlier, is that seniority sometimes is, what was this person doing, and were they following the rules? Were they not? Because I remember when I started out in the military, I started out as an HVAC technician. I had finished tech school, got to my first base, started working, and like there were a lot of civilians in my shop or civil servants, let me say that. And they were former military and they have been working in civil service. And a lot of these guys have 15, 20, 25, 30 years experience working in the field. So when I went out to a job with them, I was all giddy and happy, like, oh, yeah, I'm about to learn something. And I started seeing how these guys would cheat, not perform their job at the level that you were taught. And in some instances, it was good because to find some problems, you know, we study all these things in the book of how the unit works and all these different things, how to troubleshoot the unit if this is not working. But sometimes you can do all those things from the theory side of it, and you still might not find the problem. And so in some cases, it was good, but in a lot of cases, it was dangerous. And in a lot of cases, some of the guys, what I found out later on as I got more experienced in the field, they were what we call parts changers. See, they wasn't really troubleshooting the unit to get to the root of the problem. They would go, they would try to jump the thermostat or try to do these little tricks, put the fuse halfway in and take it out, which is very dangerous because you can get shocked or electrocuted. And they would do these things. And once their little tricks didn't work, they would just go back and say, oh, yeah, we got to replace the whole unit. And so I was like, wait a minute, but we didn't check this and we didn't check that and we didn't check this. And then what I started finding out when I started working on my own, became a journeyman in the HVAC field, is that I will go and the problem might be something small. It might be a little minor part that costs, $50 or $100 or something. And these guys were going out changing out the whole damn unit which would cost like $2,000 or whatever. So they wasn't being productive and they wasn't being cost efficient. And it was like, damn, these guys, you've been in the field this long and you're costing us money. And the funny part is our department, they used to always, when the end of the year came, they would always be like, oh man, we're out of money. We can't order parts. Well, hell, you ever thought about sending your guys to upgrade training or get them updated? But no, because as I alluded to earlier, when you try to send these guys to training and things like that, what do? They would complain about the shit
Oh no, I ain't going to no goddamn training.
and this and that. So again, the department, the organization, the company, they're stuck with that. And as you said, SJ, you will have people working in that company, whether they are a supervisor, employee, or upper management, who start cutting corners to try to get things done and try to look proficient on paper or efficient on paper, sorry. And it's all a big lie in the end.
And
Absolutely, I agree.
some of these companies, like, again, what you was talking about, how, they're trying to cut corners and stuff like that. A lot of these companies, they have budgets. So if your budget for the month, if your budget is $600 and, you have something that came up that unexpected, you don't spend $300 on it. And
Right.
so now, okay, you have $300. I mean, you got to try and figure out everything else out. So a lot of those to where you're going, they're gonna cut corners, and the people that knows how to do that are the old school. They've been in for 80 years. I'm just saying. So I mean, for example, my truck, I had a problem with the fuel pump, and so I'm like, I went to one of this name brand shops. I like, hey, I think something's wrong with fuel pumps. I did my testing, and everything's leading to that. Well, it's gonna cost you about $150 for us to do a diagnostic. I'm like, I already know what it is, but they're gonna do the diagnostic. Okay, well, we find out it's gonna be a fuel pump. We need to get a new one. We can order it, and it's gonna be $600. So I just paid $150 for them just to tell me I'm gonna need $600 to replace the
Right.
fuel pump. So
And you already told them what the problem was.
I already told them what the problem is. So again, I went on YouTube and I started researching. Yes, you could buy a new one for $600, but you could also go buy the part and just replace the part that you need. So long story short, you know what? I ain't never did fuel pump myself before. Oh man, I went and jacked that vehicle. It's paid off. I mean, it's got a lot of mileage on it. I like this is my chance to try and learn. Man, I jacked that vehicle up, went online, bought the part for like $60. And I mean, the labor took a little while because I got to figure out what I'm doing, and I got it done. So a lot of those is, I mean, like you guys said, the company, yeah, they tell you the mission statement and what they, what they're all about, but it's all about the bottom line. If budget, they're not making money, they don't care. They want that little shark. They want somebody that's gonna fix it real quick and move on to the next. Again, by the time in 2-3 years, the CEO, whoever's running the company, he's out. He's out with all his money and he's going to another company to do the same thing.
Yep. Well, I'm going to give y'all my answer. My answer is what it usually is. I'm going to say, let's break the mold and stop pitting these against each other. How about let's have all four? How about let's look at each person, each position, each situation individually and make a better choice instead of just going with what's always been done.
Right.
Good point. Good point in that. And I guess, as always, in that situation, the key is going to come down to upper management, the executives, the CEOs. How do they enforce their company culture and make sure that the operations, the rules, the policies, and procedures are going to be followed by everyone, regardless if you have a week under your belt or if you have 40 years under your belt working for that company? Is it has to start at the top and it has to go streamline all the way down to the bottom.
Agree.
Mhm. And then I think you can implement those things and be a better, productive, and efficient company.
I mean, just training and retraining, and they just got to make sure that I mean, they are getting people. I mean, given time. I mean, again, it's one of those to where you have all these rules and regulation. You got your ideas of what you think is going to work, but if you don't plan and put time to decide to where you can actually train these people, then you just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Good point. So, anything else on this topic?
I think that's all for now.
Oh, it's over now. No, just joking. I'm playing. I'm playing. So, what do y'all think? Here we go. Drum roll. Should we shut up on it, or should we work on it for a later date and maybe get more information and things in that nature?
I'm good to shut up on it.
Uh-oh. What about you, Riffa?
I think we should get some more information and put out there. The folks out there gonna need it.
Sounds great. All right. And I think we should work on it because I think that is a good topic also. Because just this last point is that companies, they try to sell that too. Or excuse me, a lot of managers and bosses, they try to sell, hey, Jim's been working for us for 20 years. Molly over there has been with us for 22 years and this and that. But not knowing that Molly, she done stole over her lifetime $100,000. She didn't pay for her son's college through the company slush fund. And Jim then stole all the tools out of the company.
Wow.
So
yes, indeed.
but hey, that's what, as you alluded to earlier, SJ, that's what a lot of companies try to sell. They try to put these banners up and, oh, we're about this and we're about that, and all kinds of crap is going on. Once you start walking through the graveyard of the company, you start seeing all kinds of bodies buried.
Wasn't like 3 months ago. I'm gonna show the story. It was somebody from either McDonald's or some kind of fast food dude being there for like a lot of time, and they fired a guy for something. Or it was his anniversary, and they gave him like a $20 something. And somebody ended up, like, I guess, heard about his story. He was all over the news, and within like a week or so, they raised like over $100,000 for the kid, for the guy. But it's one again. It's they promote people and training, and they love the employees, but the CEOs and the top managements are the one that get all the money. So yeah, the guy's been for so long. You only got like what $20 for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad and that's unfortunate. And so, with that being said, thank you again for tuning in to the Shut Up and Work podcast, as this is going to do it for this segment. And I want everybody out there, please, please, please hit that subscribe button to our channel, hit that like, leave a comment, and share with your friends, family, and everybody you know, your dog, your cat, anybody that can access social media, share it with them. We would gladly appreciate it. So, with that being said, thank y'all, and you have a great evening.